Okay, I'm running late, very, very late. Hi, I do apologise. I was dealing with an issue. I don't know if everybody can hear me. I was dealing with an issue in another match, so give me just a second to finish setting up my chat, and then we can get going with this absolute banger that I've got for you tonight. So if you give me just a second, I'll have a look at this. Apologies for people that'll be watching the VOD back for the first round. It might just be a little bit shaky. I just need to very quickly set up the prediction, and then you can get going.
Deploying Vulcan.
10 seconds left.
Right.
5 seconds left.
Explosive ordnance hot.
I need to just test my sound as well, make sure that you can hear me, because I'm not actually 100% sure, because I haven't tested it yet, so let me check. Right, I do apologise. I was dealing with issue in another match. You've got DW and Curva to thank for that one, so everybody go give them grief on chat extreme as well. So Genesis versus Bad, it's going to be an absolute banger. This is Division 1, so it's looking like it's shaping up for a very good game. Bad and Genesis both won last week, so they'll be looking to fight out for the top spot this week in their group. Of course, I don't have time just to run through the bands and stuff like that. We'll go over them in just a second though. But we have an extension out towards the side of CC. The map is Clubhouse. That is going to be Genesis that are starting us off on the defense, and on the attack we're going to be seeing Bad starting us off, bringing along that nice pick of the Fuse coming along on the hands of a Garancer. He's trying to hunt down the player that is causing a bit of a nuisance inside of the CC and cache area, which is Crow Gremlin. He knows that there's a player below as well. Riot's is the one with the buck, and he's trying to hunt this player down, shoot up through the floor and find the angles to take out the player that is running around in there. Nico Pico has a hold on top of the stair as well. He's going to support his teammate there side to side as well, but there's going to be a down and a finish going to come from the hands of Crow Gremlin. He's going to find Nigel, but Pubman is also going to find someone on the reverse on the other side. That's down below. That's locked in Bruv, who's been caught out below, but just on this side as well. Riot's still redecorating inside of the stockroom to try and find the angles up through the floor to find these players that are causing a nuisance down inside. But Riot's is going to find Frodo Boggin. Is that from through the angle all the way through to Bar? I think he caught him on the rotate there, potentially with an absolutely beautiful shot there, but I didn't quite find that shot. But Grandslayer's going to push up there with Gremlin with the double on the round. He's going to find that. He bites back. He's still holding on to cash for dear life, and Riot's found below, and Crucio to find Nico Pico as well on the staircase, and now he's on the rotate up to try and find this, and he's left in a 1 versus 3 situation to try and deal with these players. But Crow Gremlin is on a hunt for the third. He wants the triple kill on the round. He wants to try and close it out and take their first defence. There he goes. It will, in fact, be an opening defence for Genesis. I'm not used to these lineups. I'm getting added in about 8 chats, so I'm just going to ignore it. They can deal with it. We're getting on with this one. We're having a good time. I'm going to run across the bands. I do apologise for the first start of that, just because I was dealing with another issue of another match chat, so I was just trying to sort that out. This one though has not been giving me any issues, and we're going to just be hopefully set up for a decent game. So opening round is going towards Genesis on their defence. The bands were as follows. I'll just very quickly show you the bands there, so you see that the defence of the attack of Bad were banning away that Habana and the Cade, the Thatcher and the Valk being banned away by the likes of Genesis. Not too surprising to see those bands ringing out. The Habana and the Cade, very common on this, and then the Thatcher as well. So that's 3 pretty much deadlock operators to be banned away on Clubhouse. But I suppose the spicier one is, of course, that Valkyrie, which isn't banned that often, but we'll we'll kind of see, we'll see how it plays out. It's not the one that I would say is a top priority to ban away on this map, but it's always a good one to ban away. So we'll see how that plays out in the rest of this matchup. But down below to the bottom of this map, down to the basement, is where Genesis will take us next, looking to show us a little bit of a setup inside of that basement and that church area. Some of these hatcheries are getting opened up though, so it looks as though they have some sort of idea of a setup for some rotates around. They do have the mute and the Mozzie combos. They could potentially go for that SSG roam strat, but they have decided to reinforce that off in the bar area. I hate when I get a message. I hate when someone's in my chat and says something just as I'm trying to cast it, pops up, and I always end up reading it, and I can never stop myself from laughing when someone says something stupid.
5 seconds to go.
Well, I'm not as familiar with some of the operators or some of the players that are on Genesis as what I once was, because we haven't been casting it very well. Genesis have seen quite a bit of change, so we'll see if they're able to put up anything different and see if they can put up a good performance. A little bit of a roam game that's going to come out. You've seen Nico Pico with the Mozzie, he has the roam game a little bit as well, and you can also see Frodo Boggin out on the roam as well, up on that red staircase. Pubman down on the secret staircase as well to try and cause a nuisance as well. But Nico Pico is the one that is the most aggressive of the Genesis 5. He's out on that roam with the P10 Roni. He does see a player on the rotate, and he's going to find Crucio, who's holding that all-important rotate back down the main stairs, and he's not going to be able to do anything about it as Nico Pico does what he does best and takes his head clean off these fuse charges, though, ringing out inside of the kitchen as Grandslayer gets to work on that floor. Riots comes in, utilising that buck expertly well to open up these angles. They did so well in the last one. They can't quite see through that wall. Of course, we can only see the outlines through the wall when he isn't going to land any shots because he doesn't know the players on the other side. But see some feet there just as he's briefly opening up some holes, and he's going to hold onto that angle through the rotate to see if they can see anybody coming through. But no one is going to oblige that rotate yet. They do have a little bit of a push happening down inside of Dirt, but Larlad is holding on for dear life with the smoke there, and Lockton Bruv is going to have to try and weed him out of there. Has the nade in hand and has it cooked and primed and ready to go, and is it going to find this man? No, it won't find any damage, and we'll get rid of that shield just yet. He's going to have to cook another one in hand, but Larlad's going to put him down. Can he get the finish? Yes, he can. Genesis have the 3-5 advantage now, and Bad are not looking as good as what they once were here, as Frodo Boggin though is going to find a double on the other side of the map, and now it's a 1 versus 5 or 4, I was about to say. Just we'll never find out as he's put down there. Great work from Frodo Boggin on the other side to find a double and shut that out, and Genesis are going to take 2 rounds in this opener so far. I have received 9 ats in the first 10 minutes of this game in another match after telling them not to, so should I just put a poll up for you just to vote whether I should just scrap Division 2 or not? More grief than what it's worth. Anyway, Genesis take the opening rounds, and they take the defence on it was gym and bedroom for the first one, believe it or not. It was their first defence, and then it was basement for the second one, and they take both of those rounds, so they're looking good on their defence to start with. Going into this third round, though, they're going to take us to a different site, of course, so they're going to have to go for the full rotation at least, and they'll be taking us up to Cash and CC. Frodo Boggins bring along that Thunderbird, which is slowly ever utilised in the comp scene now. Make sure that people have that boost of HP if they do want to go out and go for a little bit of a roam and a spawn peek, and they can return back to the site and replenish that HP. Larlad has brought along the Arune as well. That will cause some issues for people that are going to be popping in some of these utility and projectiles. Nico Pico on the Melusi, bringing it along downstairs, and we'll be putting those Banshees down to cause some headaches for some of these players that are pushing in. In terms of the setup, it does look as though it is a pretty standard, nothing really shocking coming out of this. I think I suppose the aggression from Frodo Boggin downstairs going across to the billiards area, it looks as though that is probably the most aggressive we'll see someone. Crow Gremlin I think is going to be the one in charge of holding on to rafters, but I think he's just going to rotate it. Nico Pico trying to find someone on the early entry, but can't quite find any shots on the Grandslayer, and the two of them trade blows for a second there. Nico Pico takes a little bit of damage. I think that was just on the pre-fire, as most of Bad have decided to go in for a northwest push. We're going to clear through the map and decide to clear through this side, through the I was going to say bar there, but it's not. It's on the top floor. It's the gym and the bathroom, and Riots is the one at the forefront of this attack. Of course, he will have those drones at his feet. He will be sending it through the map, and he'll be trying to clear through, and he has got aggressive all the way up, but doesn't see the player, but does he? Yes, he does! He's going to find the shot on Larlath, who was just not quick enough on the trigger to bounce back and find Riot, so it's a 4 vs 4, so Frodo Boggan's going to find someone. I believe that's up through the Billiards, but he's catching him on the main stairs, but Riot knows he's got the call of the movement that's going to be coming out from Frodo Boggan. He drops and gets the double for the round, and that's your Ash entry, just hitting those shots as beautifully as ever, courtesy of Riots _IZZ. Now he's returned back to his position, he's got that pick and he's been able to shut down that rotate, and he moves in towards the construction area. He knows that these players are down below, and he is actually going to drop down and to try and get rid of some of that utility on the wall so that these players can get this wall opened up. Nigel has rotated in to join him inside of the construction area and now holds an angle onto the site. There is a player inches away from actually spotting him. It's actually Pubman that's lying prone there, and he doesn't know. The two of them are looking right at each other almost, and they just can't quite see it, but just as he moves away, Pubman is not able to land any shots, and there's a pre-fire coming up from the top of the red stairs. There's Nico Pico, though, but Pro Gremlin's going to swing the breach and find Crucio as he now holds an angle, hopped in the window. It's going to be Grandslayer, but another hop as well. Grandslayer with a double. He's inside the site. Can he find a triple? No, he can. He knows that the last person at the top of red stairs, but he doesn't know exactly where he is. That Banshee gives away his position. He's swung. It's Nico Pico. It's going to be bringing it to a 1 versus 1, and somehow Nigel's left with all we're doing. He sees the head Nico, but he can't quite land the shots. Nigel doesn't know where to aim as he's now got himself into cash, though. Across the top here, the pre-fires come through. He can't quite find the shots. None of them. They're just trading blows, and not a single shot has landed yet. Both full HP, and they can't quite find any shots and any inroads into this 1v1, and they're still holding on. Nigel gets a boost, and I think he's going to get aggressive here, but no! Nico brings it back from the brink for Genesis, and he's going to come out on top on that round, bringing us back for Genesis to take their third round in a row. Beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. Genesis looked so bad, had ticked all the boxes. They got themselves all the way up to site, they got the wall open, they dropped down below, they stopped the rotate, they stopped the flank, they stopped everything, but just couldn't quite tidy up that last piece of the puzzle to try and figure out what they were to do to finish off and get that execute. How is everybody today in chat though? How goes it? Gym and bedroom is where we're going to return to. That's, of course, we've just seen a full rotation that Genesis are now going to be moving it back into being able to defend at gym again. That was CC. It's unusual the way they've done it, of course. Gym not usually played first. Now it might be getting played first, but it seems to be getting stronger. I've noticed there was a time it would just deadlock CC, and that would be your only site you'd start with, and then you'd just be trying to go there as much as possible. But it's kind of a bit more flexible, feels a bit more balanced. Maybe the changes and stuff like that have kind of factored into that. And we'll see another extension out towards that cache side, as most teams usually do. Some form of hold and the mute, make sure that these players can move through that map with ease, muting those walls off and using those ADSs to stop any players from burning too much utility. Pubman's brought along the Mira as well, to potentially hold on to that logistics area and inside the bathroom. That will be the most likely area that goes. Larlath has the Goyo as well, plenty of shields for them to put out. Still has his shields. Of course, they are working on some form of a rework for him, but for the time being, he's still heavily picked and still heavily utilised, and is still heavily nuisance for people to deal with. Double ADS at the top of the red stairs, so they are focusing and holding this. They know that Bad will be coming from the side, and all 5 members of Bad have spawned here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to feed straight into the setup, and Frodo Boggan has a couple of nice line of sights just created there so to shoot up potentially for the C4 through that hatch if they do need it. That is usually the play when someone gets up onto that door. They do use it, but down below, Riot's with the opening pick. He knows it's exactly what's happening here, and he finds one. It's going to be Frodo Boggan put down inside of stock, and now he's going to pull back to try and find the head of Pro Gremlin, but it's actually a pinch that comes through. Grandslayer is going to find him from the breach. I don't know how he's found the angle to find that, but he's found it, and Riot's now comes up towards that CC area, but still Nico Pico holds strong at the top of the red stairs, but Riot's is getting more and more aggressive as he gets into this round. He's revving up the shots, and he tries to find a couple of pre-fires, but he can't quite find any shots yet. That wall's now opened up on the CC Plateau breach, and now we see that shield is getting dealt with, and now it's done, and Nico Pico's think he's going to have to evacuate the dance floor to get himself away from the top of the red stairs and deal with anything down below. Locked in Bravo knows that there could be potentially still someone lurking around there, but it's actually down below. It's Nigel to find the pick, eventually getting rid of Nico Pico, and Genesis are looking like they are up against it here as Riots is put down by Larlath. He finds a couple of shots, but the pre-fire can't be found there. Finds eventually lands the shot on a locked in Bruv. If he finds a double here, it could be some way to turn the tide and back into the favour of Genesis, but there's still a couple of players he has to deal with. He's going to send the C4 instead, just to try and deal with lockdown. But if he does get the double, though, he doesn't know where the other players are trying to find him from, though. He knows that there could be someone still lurking inside the cache. He holds the angle through to the top of the red stairs, but doesn't know exactly where to see the player that kind of landed the shot. Can't find the crucial pick onto Crucio, and another P5 come through, but the shot can't be landed. Both of them are still missing shots left, right, and centre. Crucio moves all the way through. Pubman finds Nigel on the other side, and somehow Genesis have brought it all the way back. The Diffuser's going to be down. It's a 1 versus 2. It's a triple kill for Larla. They could be going for player of the week here as Grandslayer is left for a 1 versus 2 situation, and now it's not looking great for Bad, who somehow have choked that 4 versus 2 lead. It's technically a 1 versus 1 though. Larlad is the one at the helm of this, and Grandslayer has 50 seconds to get that diffuser back and recover it, but Larlad was the one that put it down. He knows exactly where it is, he knows exactly what he has to do and what boxes have to be ticked for him to win out this round. He's looking for the 4K, he's looking to try and pull Genesis back from the brink and take this round out from underneath Bad. The double kill though for Grandslayer, he's going to get the down finally finished off onto Pubman, but Grandslayer gets aggressive and now into the site. He's dropped in there, and that takes a little bit of damage. I think that was maybe a free fire coming out from Larlad. He takes a little bit of damage done onto him there, onto Grandslayer, but he's went and collected a little bit of HP as well. Actually, it was Larlad that's picked up some HP, so he's fully full of HP, and he knows that this window is exactly where the peak's going to come from. Can he land the shot? It's done a 1v1. He does it! Yes! Larlad takes the 4K, and he takes the round for Genesis, and they go on to a 4-0 lead. Beautifully done. You can analyse that as much as possible and say whatever you want for anything. You can pick holes in anybody's attack, anybody's defence, but if a player's going to just hop up and drop a 4K on you, then there's not really much you can do except from try to shoot back better, and that's exactly what Larlad did, and he has put them well into the lead here with a 4-0 lead. I'll just have a look at the prediction there, and it seems as though everybody has put their money on Genesis to take this one. Even I thought it was a bit more balanced than this. Bad put up a really good performance last week, I felt, and I felt like this could have been a very balanced game. So far, first 3 rounds was pretty confidently won by Genesis, and then that 4th round there of 6 came down to a really good play out of the hands of Larlad. But we'll see what they've got to come up for us on this next defence. This is going to be the 5th round in the matchup, and back down to the basement we go. This time we'll see a couple of changes to the lineups. Of course, we're bringing along that Thunderbird smoke as well onto Larlad's hands this time as well. He'll be the one probably in that dirt area to try and put up a defence as well. Now up to 17 messages since from that one chat, Matt. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're having fun here. Genesis are definitely they're having fun. They're out on the roam. They are finding the shots. Some very interesting setup, by the way. Some holes created inside of kitchen, which I haven't seen often. So they have an idea of what they want to hold and what they want to be seeing through this matchup here. Nico's on the main stairs, so he'll be putting up against anybody that does decide to enter from that kitchen area. And Riots has got up onto the window as well. But a couple of shots just sent into the way of that lobby area, and Frodo Bogdan will be droned out. He's all the way to the top floor. These drones are trying to hunt him down. Presumably Riots will be trying to chase down after those, and Nigel is below as well. He'll have a nade if he does want to send it up through the floor towards Frodo Bogdan, but it helps obviously just to use it and keep it in the spot. But then even Nico Pico's going to take a lot of damage courtesy of Nigel, and more damage again on the other side as Riots gets himself in a bit of a gunfight trying to find Frodo Bogdan. Can't quite find the shots though, as Frodo Bogdan puts in some performance on the top floor, being just a thorn in the side of Bad, who can't clear him out. But they know he's in the bathroom, they know exactly where he is, and I don't think that they know that he might still be in there. So they're going to have to deal with it as Riots now faces up towards it. He's going to try to take the gunfight, they can't land the shots here. They're going to trade blows back and forward they go, and still the entry is ever looming as Grandslayer gets himself into the kitchen now to begin some form of vertical play. But Frodo Bogdan is still not being dealt with out on this roam, and Crow Gremlin's going to come up for the double up to try and deal with Riots. Frodo Bogdan drops down to the middle floor, and he's still allowed to move through this map freely without any consistent resistance from the side of Bad. He's still moving through there. Crow Gremlin's going to double up there, but the drone comes in from the Aya to try and find him. Nigel's down the main stairs now. He's moving up to try and pinch from the other side, but it's Frodo Bogdan to find Grandslayer inside the bar. It's worked out perfectly for Frodo Bogdan, who's caused a nuisance all round, but no, he's going to be found, and the refrags instantly from Nigel to Frodo, but Crow Gremlin comes in for the double up and finds Nigel on the refrag, and it's a 3 versus 4 situation for them. Riots still upstairs, just wasn't able to find that final player, and is now have to move around and come and and join his teammates down on the bottom floor to try and get this execute done. They have a minute left, and so much time is being wasted by Frodo Boggin. Crucio is inside of the kitchen. He has this opened up, so there's not been much resistance when they're getting this hatch opened. Has the option to drop if he does so want to do it. But Lala has firmly kept control of dirt, which has been opened. So if they do want to push from there, they can do. Nico Pico has a nice angle holding in the end of the memorial room all the way along and next to the Moto area. Knows that the player's coming down the main stairs, trying to find the shot and the pre-fire to the player that is moving down there. I believe that it is the Ayana of Locked in Brub that's trying to take the gunfight. He knows that there's a player across there. They have that nice rotate there if they do want to go through it, so that could be utilised by the attackers. But I think that Nico Pico's going to want to get aggressive here. Rips the C4 just to show that he has it in hand, and if he does want to use it, Riot's good for the drop, but he's going to take quite a lot of damage. He doesn't know where the players are, so 3 versus 3. Locked in Brub's going to take it though, as Crow Gremlin now finds a double kill on the round, and a big swing though, triple kill for Crow, and it's going to be a 1 versus 3. Can he find his final shot? It's Nico Pico to shut it down on Crucio, and Genesis look as strong as ever on the defense. They take 5 rounds in a round, as flush as you possibly could get. Whew. What a game. What a game. Genesis are having an absolutely wonderful time here, and they are just putting in the work. The thing is about Genesis as well, there isn't any standout players. They're all pulling their weight. They're all doing everything together. You've seen them working well together on that room. You've seen Frodo getting the support from Crow upstairs. Crow Gremlin rotated up. He gave them the support. He dropped down into bar. Crow came back down to the middle. They were moving together through the map. They were clearly communicating where they were on the map, and it worked out perfectly because they got that extra kill. They got the refrag instantly, and it put them into a much better position than what Bad potentially thought they were ever going to give it to them. And Genesis just looked good for their money just now as they take us on to their 6th and final defensive round, heading into CC and Cash again. Full rotation for the second time. Can Bad tidy up those mistakes and finally get a round on the board before they are facing down a match point for 6 full rounds? But we'll see, that will be decided across this defense in CC and Cash. No surprise picks coming out for the side of Genesis though. Grandslayer has stuck this fuse every single round. They've wanted to bring this. They've got an idea in mind for this fuse, and they want to bring it to make sure that they can get rid of utility. They can clear down through the map if they can, and it just hasn't worked to their advantage yet. They've been able to get the hatches open. They have been able to get some of those boxes ticked, but Genesis have just played such good free-flowing siege that they haven't been able to do anything. Nico's going to go for the same peak again. He finds a little bit of an angle there, but can't quite find a bite onto that player of Crucio on the Thermite, who hasn't had the greatest of matchups so far. Hopefully they can get some inroads into a decent map later on in this matchup. And Nico Pico has now made his way back to site. Frodo Boggin is the only roamer for the time being for the side of Genesis. Team members inside the site, and Larlad out in the rafters to hold on. This is pretty standard defence for Genesis. They're just going to tick the boxes and remain in their places. The walls opened up relatively early, within inside 40 seconds of the round. Crucio's got that opened up, so they have their attacks being paid some dividends at least. Crow Gremlin gets aggressive onto the breach. He tries to find some pre-fires, but again can't land any shots, doesn't know where they are, but still out on the roam, who's now eventually came back to site. Frodo Boggin is wasted a lot of time. I guess the 2 minutes is gone, and Crow Gremlin just gets caught out being too aggressive. Frodo Boggin's got himself back to site, and now he's going to have to try and take a position as Nico Pico isn't holding on to the window. Knows that there's a player going to be moving around there, and it could pop over though. You can see the outline on your screen on the left. If the player hops down, he will see the shots, he will see the legs. They can't land the shots. Yes, they can. Nico Pico finds one. That's Grandslayer gone. That's all the utility of the fuse gone as well, should it be needed. And it's down for another player as well. I don't actually know. That was a bit interesting. Came up on the screen for a sec there. Anyway, Pubman holds on to the construction doorway, waiting for anybody to hop through that rotate coming through from the logistics area, but he doesn't know exactly where to look yet. He hasn't quite made his decisions, as Riot's Locked in Brub and Nigel all stack up inside the construction. Now it's on the window, but Riot's is going to find Frodo Boggin. He's dealt with one player at least. That's the Thunderbird gone, and it's a 4 versus 3 situation now, still in favour of Bad. and they haven't quite decided on an execute yet. They haven't opened up this wall here in construction. It doesn't look like they've decided where they want to push in from. Crucio's still out on that main breach, and Larlad has a much better position here if he does want to hold it. But Pubman is going to swing the window and find a shot at the Riots, but this long angle still held by Larlad, and sees the player for a split second there on the breach, and Nico Pico's called up to go for the swing, and he does, and he finds it. It's a two-piece on the round for him, and now it's swung all the way back into Genesis. Every single time that Bad even think they've got their round in the bag, they're put in the dirt by a triple kill by Nico, who's going to find the Malossi MP5. It's Mark on the head there. 6 rounds in a row. Genesis are leading the way, marching to the end of this. Flows, get out of my chat, please. You're supposed to be in a game. I'm only kidding, you're not supposed to be in it. I'm just going to pause very quickly. Wait for Jen to come back. Right, I'm just waiting on Genesis just to get their other player in. I think they're maybe just having some issues. Okay, that's perfect. So that's all good. Good game so far. 6-0. Yes, it is going the way of Genesis. It looks as though they have struck gold with this matchup, and they are having a wonderful time in Clubhouse. They are looking great, and it looks so. Nico's annoyed I didn't get the one tap. Right, we're in now, we can start. We're ready to go. Well, just an issue with Wi-Fi there, Gremlin just lagged out for a wee bit, so he's back in. We're ready to go and continue. And Bad are staring down one of the scariest things you can have in this league, and that's a 6-0 lead from Genesis. At match point, they're going to have to put up every single round possible to bring this one back, and they will not be fancying themselves, I don't think, after the performance. Genesis have just been so good with these rotates, playing together as a team, landing their shots, the calls up. You've seen in that last round. You've seen, yeah, Karma. I know. I can see the ads, but yeah, I can see the ads. It only just started. A full hour after it. It's 4v4. At least we got 4v4. That's fine. It was supposed to be a 3v5, and then. Oh yeah. Don't even get me started on that matchup. Well, I'll assess it after this. I'm gonna have to look at what's going on in it. So.
10 seconds to go.
Anyway, let's get back to this siege. This is a more important game. This is Division 1. This is the paid entry. This is the big teams. This is the big hitters, the heavy hitters. They are putting up, and Genesis look to take the early lead in the group if they are to put up the winning round. But it's still on the brink. It still could happen here. Riot's gets a bit cheeky. He's going to get the opening pack on Nico Pico. That's using his own thing against him. He's going to find it there, and he finds the shots. Crow Gremlin is going to find Nigel though, right back, bounces right back, he's all the way up in the site. Crow Gremlin's going to get hungry here, is in the side construction. Do they have the call that he's somewhere else? And Grandstairs going to find Larlad as well. It's now looking like a 4 versus 3 situation against Genesis now, as Bad have the lead. Crow Gremlin, not as aggressive as he could be. His Riots is going to find a double in the round down below. He's going to find Pubman, but he can't be finding the third as Frodo Boggin puts him down, and it's a 3 versus 2 situation now with Frodo Boggin and Crow Gremlin. Crow Gremlin's going to move all the way into sight though. He knows that the player's inside there. He's going to find the shot. It's Crucio down and out. Now it's a 1 or a 2 versus 2 even. Can he find another one? He does! It's Gremlin with the triple, and he's going to look to try and shut this down to finish it, and he does! It's a 4K for Gremlin on the round with the Amaru. He's going to hunt it down and finds Genesis that final round for the win, and all 3 points and all 7 rounds go to Genesis, who take the lead in the group of Ellipsis League Division 1. Quick, easy, just like that. Genesis are flying at the minute.